Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So we are still in this very tight range, in this sort of holding pattern we've got going on. I think what we've got is obviously what we've got is a pretty even battle between the bulls and bears at the moment. The bears clearly think price action should be lower, and I think personally, I think what is bullish is the Ethereum merge narrative, which is giving probably a bit of bullish momentum to crypto as a whole. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and maybe that is basically at present holding Bitcoin up and stopping it trade lower at the moment. Just those two opposing forces are relatively balanced at the moment. If we go and have a look at the stock market, it is at the moment trying to come back and back test this old support as new resistance. So if it breaks through it, we could get a pretty decent swing failure pattern and then continue onwards and upwards. If we do back test into this, get rejected, and then take out these lows, pretty much call it 3,900, then I think there'll be a pretty aggressive move down like we've seen on numerous occasions in this most recent downtrend. However, we want to be optimistic. If we get back above here, hold above the here, then this will look pretty good for a higher low relative to this low, and then we can go and put in a higher high. A higher high, which would, I mean, if we just look at this as the all-time high, markets would start to look a bit crazy and start to catch a lot of people off guard. But like we have been saying, markets are forward looking. And then yes, we probably will be in a recession at some point. However, will it be a short, sharp recession? In which case, markets will start to look past that and then start to look at obviously better conditions on the other side. We shall have to see. Obviously, we've got CPI coming out before the I think it's coming out before the merge next week. I think the merge is in 10 days. So yeah, we could get some volatility on that. If we get a good print on the CPI, i.e. A reduction in inflation again, and the leading indicators for that CPI print are indicating, the leading indicators are indicating that we will get a decent CPI number, i.e. lower than last month. If that is to be the case, then yeah, it could help markets, especially if it comes in even a bit lower like it did last month. On the flip side, if it doesn't, then yes, we'll quite certainly see a move down towards to test the lows. But like I said, chances are we'll get a good inflation number, and then it's just a case of how much of that has been priced in. However, markets have pretty much been down only since Jay Powell, so it doesn't seem like a lot's priced in. But yeah, we shall see. Dollar index has been an absolute pain in everyone's rear end at the moment. I mean, it's just looking bullish. Is it going to top out and stall out here? Maybe it is. We'll have a look at just let me see if I can get some other indicators on here. Now we'll just leave it for the time being. But yeah, there are basically bearish divergence from these highs on the daily. So we could see a decent pullback if we are to confirm this as a high at some point. Obviously it's not yet, so we don't know what's going to happen there at the moment. The 10-year not looking good at all, not looking good realistically. As long as we don't, I mean, if you say we come off like a bit strong move up and then you say something like as long as you don't move up any further, then yeah, that's great. But obviously we all know the trend is your friend and there's no reason to expect this won't continue further. But if it does top out here, it will top out at some point, just like it topped out here, just like it bottomed out there. If it does top out here and come back down, then yeah, ultimately if we take out this support again and stay below it, we could be looking at a downtrend in yields, which would obviously be good, a rally in bonds there. USD JPY just looking not looking good for the Japanese over there, and the Euro USD are not looking good for the Europeans over here. I think we've obviously got to wait for wait for actual these markets, these US traders to hit their desks in probably like about 2.5 hours, and then decide do they just want to dump this market or are they going to take some risk on. We shall have to see. Bitcoin dominance though, absolutely diving on this moving ETH. As you can see, we are looking to take out these lows. Go back to 4 hours, see better. We are looking to take out these lows from previously. from previous dumps, and we have actually taken them out, and we are into this big support area. This was the support area that way back when I was looking at, this will be where Bitcoin dominance gets into. We get a massive altcoin season, a massive altcoin run, and this is where we bottom out. I mean, honestly, crypto will just never surprise you with what it will do. To say we're having such a dastardly bear market, to see Bitcoin dominance trending nothing but down, when previously in bear markets Bitcoin dominance would do nothing but trade up, is obviously a change. But we all know why it is. Well, there's one factor why it is obviously the merge catalyst, and then Ethereum being a superior asset, wink face. Or there's also the fact that maybe people are starting to realize that Bitcoin's basically Bitcoin is the Yahoo of crypto. Ethereum is the Google, and there are plenty of other search engines that will pop up, search engines, i.e. other coins, that are potentially more useful in different ways to Bitcoin. Obviously, don't let any of those Bitcoin maxi cultist people think that. I mean, Bitcoin maxis, they're literally it literally is a cult at this point. They are like they are not very rational. They don't really think too much other than orange coin good, any other coin bad. But yeah, anyway, yeah, looking good there. Ethereum Satoshi pairing obviously precipitating this move down the dominance, having the sort of the forward check, the back check, a little bit of a back check of the trend line, and then a back check of the support level, and now accelerating up to our next resistance level, and obviously above here, well above here, we haven't had much price action above here, so things could get wet and wild. If you want to zoom out a little bit here, you can see that we have traded higher before, but this does look at the moment like a very constructive pattern here for to then break on and take another leg up. Maybe we can hit as far as around this next level, around not spot 1-1, and then maybe just trade sideways in here. It would be especially ideal if Bitcoin can recover itself as well, so even though the ratio is going up, we then get high Bitcoin and even higher fiat value. So we'll have to see. Speaking of the fiat value, we are still quite a long way from taking out this recent high, but it would be especially nice if we have this low, this higher low, and then take this out, take 2,000 out. And then, well, take 2,000 out and basically get above this level, this area. So we could actually call it up to 2200, and we potentially will be in the clear for a pretty aggressive move higher. Even if it isn't just such a straight line up, even if we do just basically turn the trend around and just trend upwards over time. But yeah, potential good things happening there, potentially. Oil hanging around its lows, not looking good. Obviously, partially on not inflation fears, partially on obviously global recession fears, and just the fact that I mean the market was heavily positioned long and it's been practically nothing but down since then. And then also, I mean, is inflation going to come back under control? Is there going to be less of a need to pump all of your fiat trash coins into real assets such as commodities? Yeah, we shall have to see. What else? Yeah, let's look at stochastics then for Bitcoin, as we do. I mean, not a lot happening, as you can see. 4 hour not doing a lot, just flip-flopping around the middle of the range. 12 hour not doing a lot, just flip-flopping around the lower end of the range. Daily not doing a lot other than flip-flopping around the very lower end of the range. By daily though, potentially looking constructive here, turning up from a low level if it gets going, could certainly get us towards 30k. Similar with 3-day, if that then feeds through to 3-day, could get us going up. But at present, obviously, as we can see, a pretty decent downtrend. 5-day is freshly turned down, and so is weekly, so that is not ideal. And bi-weekly, well, flip-flopping around at lower levels. We'll just look at monthly completion, not much change there. So there is a lot of work to do in this trend. We've obviously got to see how much the Ethereum merge can drag crypto, particularly Bitcoin, kicking and screaming higher. Obviously the CPI numbers, and if we can basically get print a nice higher low relative to these lows here, and then start to trend upwards, and then ultimately take out that high. If we get all that going, it could be decent. But obviously we know historically September isn't great. And there's always the risk of big fund managers coming to want to dump pretty large positions on the market. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.